Hello, welcome back to LARP School, and today we'll be looking at monstering for an event. Yes, as mentioned, today we'll be concentrating on the aspect of LARP that not everybody gets to see, but I highly recommend they do. And that is the backstage monstering, basically playing the game, making the players enjoy the game, and giving them a hard time as well. Now, I haven't had too much monstering experience. I've only monstered at a couple of previous LARP events, but I was lucky enough to, just last week, monster a sanctioned event over for the Green Cloaks, for the 109th, one of the factions there, and I have to say it was definitely one of the most enjoyable times that I've had. Now, when monstering, there are plenty of benefits that come with doing this. For example, the first big benefit that you may notice is the fact that you don't have to generally pay for an event, which means that you get to go there for free. However, you do still obviously need to pay for transport costs, etc. And sometimes, depending on the event, depending on the system, you may have to also pay for food. I know that some events do include food with the monstering package as a little thank you for monstering for them. Now, what is monstering? So monstering can cover a wide variety of aspects. It's not just always running out and hitting things. It can also be NPCing, or non-playable characters, and this basically involves sometimes non-combat situations, just going in and getting some roleplay with the players involved, possibly giving them some information that they may need to know, or it may be, instead of just giving them the information they need to know, possibly trying to throw them off track as well, should you be in with the big bad for an event or something like that. The players are getting a little bit too smart, you may want to try and throw a little crowbar in there. Now, I will say that it's a lot of fun, but it is a lot of hard work as well. Monstering is not as easy as playing. And the reason for this is because, especially at larger events, it's going to take up a lot of time. You're not going to have a lot of opportunity to sit down. Generally, there's 1 or 2 monster crews at an event, and depending on the amount of monster crews to the amount of players and the amount of plot that's been written for them, it may mean that you'll be going out doing 4 or 5 encounters in one go, going from one to the next before being able to take a break whilst the players get to sit and recover from said interaction that it may have just passed. Now, monstering as well is only as good as plot that's been written for it. Now, the plot for the 109th Sanction event was absolutely fantastic, and it was very clear as well when it came to timescale. Now, this can come in handy for a variety of reasons. With a good time-scaled monstering schedule, it does mean that you know where you need to be, at what times, and what is required of you in advance. And it's absolutely fantastic when that happens, because everything flows so smoothly. Excuse me while I have a sip of tea. Milk and 3 sugars, just the way I like it. So with time-scaled events, instead of maybe the general outline of the day, it gets put into time slots. So you'll have your morning slot between sort of 10 and 1, your afternoon between 1 and 4, then 4 and 7, 7 and 10, so on and so forth, just breaking it up so you know what's going to be happening during the day. Now, when monstering as well, combat skill isn't necessarily something you'll need to worry about, as long as you're competent with a sword, so you're not going to run around hitting people in the face, which can be very annoying, then you'll be fine. Because the aim of the monsters and the monster crew is not to kill the players, although that may happen sometimes, and there are circumstances where it may be required to kill a couple of players, but you're just there to give them a hard time, and generally just sort of keep their enjoyment up of the weekend, keep them busy, keep the brain ticking over as you go through in these encounters. Now, I say that's most of the time. Now, there was a very close situation at the sanctioned event, where they were so close to basically having the rains of hell poured upon them. But thankfully they managed to avoid this barely, and I do mean barely, so we were able to give them the good ending. Nobody died over that weekend player-wise, which is always good, especially for morale on their side of view. On their side of the fence, their point of view. But it was close. Now, when monstering, there's a couple of things that you should remember, especially when it comes to packing wise, if you are going to monster. Now, generally, sometimes you may get very lucky. They may have plenty of spare weapons, as was the case over at this sanctioned. I had to take a certain weapon that they wanted to use for the weekend, which I was more than happy to bring along as well. There may also be other things, that the system may not have, that they want you to bring over. For example, microphones and cameras, like the one that I'm recording on at the moment, just to give, a good bit of, forgotten what it's called. Oh, don't you hate that when that happens? To immerse the players more. There was going to be a press conference, so the microphones and the cameras were to play press NPCs, and it's better to actually be there with a microphone and a camera than sort of just standing there pretending like yes. So that did add a lot as well. I would always recommend packing extra socks, extra clothes in general. Just pack loads. You never know what you're going to be required, so it's good to bring a lot of stuff, so you can get changed. You can have lots of different outfits really to wear throughout the weekend, but especially if it is wet, as it was over last weekend, then it's good because it keeps you dry and it keeps you warm, and that's not something that you can always rely on weather-wise. So it's always good to pack plenty spares, just in case things do get wet, and just in case things, in case you do need to change. Maybe you're only wearing a shirt and it's starting to get night, so it's getting dark, it's getting cold. You can whack a jumper on, nice and quick and easy, and without really interrupting the flow of the game or interrupting the flow of anything that you'll be doing as well. Now, when monstering as well, you'll be very much under the guidance of the person either who's running the event or the person or the group of people who's overseeing the event, and always listen to them and what they want. And it's always good to ask questions as well. If you're not too sure on something, ask questions. As I said, asked a lot of questions over the weekend just to make sure that I could get across what they were envisioning for the weekend, with the characters and the NPCs and stuff. And don't be afraid to do that. Sometimes, it may get a bit frustrating if you're asking the same questions like 3, 4, 5 times. That's generally a sign of not listening. But if you're asking questions, about their vision for a certain thing or how you want something to be played, then that's always a good sign to them as well. It shows that you care about what you want to do over the weekend, and it shows that you're willing to, put everything into it. I'm sorry I can't sort of talk more about monstering. I've got some friends who do monstering pretty much full time at LARPs, so what I'll do is try to get one of them onto a LARP school live and get their thoughts on monstering and tips as well on how to be a better monster or that sort of thing. So keep an eye out for a LARP school live. I'll be doing it slightly differently. It won't be on Twitch, it will be through YouTube itself. So if you're subscribed to me, then you'll instantly be able to see when I'll be live streaming that. It'll probably be a Saturday. I can't give any promises exactly what Saturday, but I will let you know through a short video when that will be coming up. apologies this wasn't the creation video. Unfortunately, I don't have my stuff on me, so I can't really make anything at the moment. But I'll try and get one up either before the end of this week or the beginning of next week. Thank you very much for watching. Apologies for not uploading too often, but until the next time, take care and goodbye for now.